This is News Talk.
Yeah, you're very welcome along to Thursdays Off the Ball. It's Richie McCormack in the big chair tonight, right through until 10 o'clock, and lots to fit in between now and then. We'll be crossing to Boston to speak to Kevin Cullen from the Boston Globe to ask just why do Americans play football on Thanksgiving Day? Shouldn't they have their trotters up and just be relaxing and eating turkey and watching lots of TV like the rest of us do on holiday days like that? Just why are they playing it? We'll ask Kevin after 8 o'clock tonight. And the Premier League sides have hardly been lighting the world on fire in the Champions League this week. We'll speak to John Giles, as is our tradition, after 7:30 tonight. The football show as well. Dan McDonald will have the very latest on the goings-on with the FAI and just where they stand in relation to that Garda investigation. And one of the gentlemen to my left will be tasked with picking his League of Ireland team, not of the month, not of the year, but of the decade. Johnny Ward, you're very welcome to the show.
The League of Ireland team of the month would be interesting. I don't think there were any games. There was the cup final.
There was the cup final.
Yeah. And it would be fair to say that Dundalk account for a lot of the 11.
Don't give Anton away.
That's fair.
Don't give Anton away. That's
spoiler alert. Pretty obvious, though, that they would.
There's a little birdie in my ear telling me as well that we may, 48 hours out from his big fight in America, hear from the one and only Carl Frampton. So that's
the Jackal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a decent nickname, that, isn't it?
He's an absolute hero. Just what he's done up in Belfast and coming from a very working class area. I think a bit like Barry McGuigan back in the day. He's really united people in Ulster, and every time you go up to, like, I'm not mad into boxing, but every time you go up there, people really admire him. And the fact that he's good mates with Paddy Barnes, who's obviously recently retired, coming from very different kind of parts of the two communities. I love the way they always say that, the two communities in Northern Ireland, as if there is no other community but one or the other, but they come from very different communities, but best mates, and kind of I suppose they're iconic in terms of the future of Northern Ireland, I would hope, anyway.
I once met Carl Frampton at an autograph signing event in Birmingham.
All right.
In May 2010, I think it was. Barry McGuigan was there. Evander Holyfield was there.
Go away.
Carl Froch was there. Good boxing contingent for some reason. Leslie Nielsen was there. This is the time I met Leslie Nielsen, the great, who is 9 years dead today.
9 years?
So there you go, yeah.
Wow.
Frank Drebin's gone 9 years.
9 years today.
I was going to take a picture of a coat, and it was in Amsterdam the other day. There was on one of the markets, they had a coat maker by the name of Nordberg.
Nordberg.
Conflating us with O.J. Simpson.
Of course.
Which is one of the great comedy characters. You met Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Insanely
9 years. It was about 5 months before he passed away, but yeah, incredible guy. Loved airplane, loved Naked Gun.
You did show us that photo, I remember, in the office, yeah.
I looked like a baby.
We were massive Naked Gun fans in our house when we were kids.
Yeah. Very quotable.
Very quotable. Watched it over and over.
Yeah, constant repeats. Speaking of photos, if you're streaming us online, and well, you should be, Facebook or indeed on YouTube or on offtheball.com. Our own Johnny Ward has been down in Longwood to Gordon Elliott's yard, getting what looks like an oil painting done next to.
So it's a wood carving.
It's something, all right. It's definitely not your natural pallor. I would put it that way.
It was literally one click of the button on my phone. I didn't do that much to it. Yeah, I'll show you. It's like the deep, It's the deep function on your gallery on Samsung.
We have actually. I think we've got the original photo to hand. If I'm.
Don't think you have, to be fair.
I don't. Well, I'd send it on, but there is an original knocking around, in which there's very little difference in that photo that you've taken there.
Sorry, I was going to say that.
What filters have you been using on your phone?
I'm looking through here. Tokyo could be a touch of Rio de Janeiro.
That's what I'm saying. It's not on the Instagram. It's like, even though the photo was from Instagram, it's a function on the gallery on your Samsung.
Right.
Samsung phones have brilliant galleries.
You're not getting a free one just for this now.
It's true.
I know, but you're not getting a free one.
I literally, like...
Don't go more into an ad. You're not getting a free one.
When your life is derailing and everything's falling apart, just look well on Instagram. You know, and that's what I was trying to do there. But the best part of that photo is not the ridiculous filtering. It's the fact that Sam Crow had no interest in posing for the photo, and the girl who was like working with Sam Crow was like, take a bit of hay in your hand. So under me there is Sam Crow is actually trying to eat hay out of my hand. That's the only reason he's posing for that photo. But like, why would I block off his entire nose? Because I didn't want it. I wanted to seem like that he was really loving. He loved him as much as he loved me as much as I loved him.
He does love.
So there's more than one fraudulent element to that picture.
It's a complete fake. It's a complete. I read the story about the royal member whose name we won't mention. That controversial photo. is it possibly photoshopped, and like there's this expert saying no, that photo is legit, it's a poor photo, but the photo at the party is completely legit. That photo is a complete fraud of me and Sam Crow. It's a lie, an absolute lie.
You got a photo of Battle Over Diane as well, which looked quite
do we have
nice.
Do we have that?
Probably don't have that.
You look worse. You look stupid.
That was a selfie, but I don't know. Yeah, they're very photogenic, to be fair. It was Tiger Roll, who, despite the fact he's in his box, like he basically can't do anything. He's injured.
Box rest is what.
Box rest is literally
until next week.
Solitary, yeah. So he had to pose for photos, and Gordon Elliott was like, 1 minute of this and let the boy back into his box, like. And Randag's help were there.
You. About you or about Tiger Roll?
About me.
All right, good. Yeah.
No, about Tiger Roll, obviously. But he's obviously on the cusp of 3 Grand Nationals, which it's an affront to logic as well, because he's not the biggest horse in the world, and he won like the Triumph Hurdle. He's just a complete freak, this horse. So
I want to ask you about this because Elliot was talking about it yesterday. He was mentioning that he seems rather bullish that Tiger Roll is going to go for the 3 Nationals, whereas Michael O'Leary was a little bit more sketchy. He says slim and none was the chances.
Yeah, Michael O'Leary talks an awful lot of nonsense, like, and he knows what he's doing. He gave quotes there recently about like why he wouldn't run him in the race that like were complete nonsense.
Right.
I absolutely love Michael O'Leary, but he does like a soundbite. And Elliot, I don't know, there was something in his behaviour yesterday that suggested to me it's not a formality. 2 bookmakers had prices on whether he would run or not, and they were in distinct disagreement, so it's kind of hard to know, but the plan will be that he runs in Navan in the race he won last year, and then he goes to
Boyne Hurdle and then
the Boyne Hurdle. Yeah, so it's like the fact that you know that it's the Boyne Hurdle, even though you're not a big racing fan. I think Tiger Roll is
for offtheball.com, Johnny.
Yeah,
get to know these things.
Won some award there recently, didn't it?
Spider Award. It's in around the vicinity here if we're looking for it. Yeah,
won't have anyone for anything apart from all the awards. Do media awards really matter?
Yes, they do, Johnny.
How many
especially the Spider Awards
are there? Yeah, well, anyway, so hopefully Tiger Roll reappears. He'd probably have top weight, but he seems to defy everything.
Elliot was saying that if he had to put on, if he had to be saddled with an extra £5 than he would have been a year ago, then he'd be okay. Is that true?
He may have said that. I turned up late, to be honest, so I kind of missed a lot of the stuff. I wasn't there for.
Just in terms of weights, just let people know what the story is.
In theory, he wouldn't have won 2 years ago because he won all out from Pleasant Company. No, he wouldn't have won with £5 extra, but he does everything so well in that race that the weight wouldn't necessarily stop him because he just seems a natural for it. And they've changed the Grand National to such, and he wouldn't have had a hope of winning the Grand National back in the day when the fences were really testing, but because of kind of animal rights concerns and just various playing around with the fences, it's not as much of a test now, rightly or wrongly.
Yeah, okay. We shall move on to the newsround. We didn't introduce the man also to our left. He is known in the office as the Love Cannon. He's Monaghan's finest.
Sultry tones.
Shane Hannon. I guess we're starting off with some Europa League action.
Yeah.
We've had some teams already in action.
The man who only once met Leslie Nielsen.
That's a good picture to have.
Decent. Yeah. Look,
can we get it up before the end of the news round?
Probably not.
No?
Shane.
It'll be on my Twitter there somewhere, JP. But it'll be a bit of a search, to be fair.
One
if you Google Shane Hannon and
like,
Leslie Nielsen, it make them up.
He's on it. I can
one
see
that
him.
makes you look like you've been on holiday for 6 months.
I look about 12 years old, to be fair.
Have you filtered it?
No, I didn't filter it. It was a professional photo shoot. We also heard him speak.
One of those ones we have to line up and they're like...
Yeah. You pay. I think we paid £30 sterling for the photograph.
You bloody well know.
I did. Yeah. So it was a great experience to meet him.
Was he a nice guy? Like, because Leslie Nielsen was quite pigeonholed as an actor, and that he was seen as one of those spoof kind of. Was it hard to divorce that from the character?
A little bit.
From the person?
Because he had a career where 30 years of serious acting turned into 30 years of very comedic acting afterwards. Like, he did different serious shows, Forbidden Planet, Towering Inferno and stuff as well. But he was lovely. He was great.
Yeah.
He was, they don't meet your heroes and all that, but he was above and beyond what you'd expect from him, really.
I'd like people to I'm taking your role here, I'd like people to text in their favourite Naked Gun quote over the next sort of 20 minutes, because it'll be a tough one.
The ones that can be aired.
The ones that can be aired.
We weren't going to throw this open to a poll. If it was going to be a poll this evening, it was going to be your favourite Jeff, if you had a favourite Jeff. But we'll get to that another day.
That's
fine.
an interesting
If you
one.
have your favourite Naked Gun quote ready to go, by all means, text it in 53106. It will cost you 30 cents, so,
Worth it.
That's worth it.
Shane.
Yes, Europa League. Manchester United have been beaten 2-1 by Astana in the Europa League Group L. That was a 10-4 kick-off this afternoon Irish time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side have, though, already qualified for the knockout stage. Captain Jesse Lingard had given a youthful United team the lead on 10 minutes. 18-year-old Ethan Galbraith, he's from Antrim, made his first team debut off the bench for United. 6 academy players in all made their debuts, and Solskjaer was very pleased with how they fared.
Performance was very good. At times we were excellent, and short spells we let them push us back, which cost us in the end, because it was a 10-minute spell there second half. I felt you could see they were growing in the game. Then that's when you want these boys they want to learn from this, and you think maybe stay down for 2 minutes, or let's get organised. But we had chances ourselves, and some excellent debuts, I have to say. You got to put them on the pitch before you know if they're good enough. And you know, the debuts, the full debuts from Ethan, from Deshaun, and from Dylan, I thought all three of them were excellent.
Yeah, hard one to judge United on, already through, of course, and blooding a load of youngsters this afternoon as well, but a 2-1 defeat for them. Arsenal, they are in with a chance of going through to the knockout phase. They've got Frankfurt.
Indeed, they can qualify for the last 32 with at least a point at home to Eintracht Frankfurt at 8 p.m. The Arsenal team is in 3-4-3 formation for them. Emiliano Martinez in goals, the back three of Shkodran Mustafi, David Luiz and Papastopoulos. The midfield four, the big news, I guess, is Granit Xhaka is back after he was booed off by the Arsenal supporters in October, and they reacted like a child, really. But Callum Chambers, Granit Xhaka, Joe Willock and Kieran Tierney in the midfield, with the front three of Gabriel Martinelli, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who captains the team, and Bukayo Saka. The Arsenal boss Unai Emery has been under pressure of late, of course, but says his side need to continue their good results in Europe.
We are doing a very good job in this competition, but we need tomorrow to make sure our first position in the table, and our objective, the second, is to win and to take confidence, and as well as connect with our supporter and to show our capacity, our quality.
Yeah, it is an interesting photo.
Who went for the photo out there of Unai Emery? It's not exactly a good evening for him in the photo front.
It's kind of like Unai Emery's under pressure, so let's put this photo up, which doesn't really give him, you know...
He's just messing with one of the dummies for a wall, which is crap. Anyway, decent night from Matt Doherty so far, anyway.
Yes, so far. Wolves well on their way towards qualifying from Group K. A draw, in fact, would do in Portugal. They'll lead Braga 3-1, 62 minutes played. Irish international Matt Doherty, as you said, Richie, among the goals. He scored the second of those goals this evening. 30,000 is the capacity, I think, in Braga Stadium.
About 30 people there.
Yeah, there's definitely not 30,000 there anyway. The pitch
I couldn't find if there's any news of a stadium ban, because it seems unusual that there would be so few there. I'm
not sure what the story is there, and the pitch is in dire condition as well, to be fair, but Wolves well on their way.
We had David Myler on Saturday, and he kind of put forward the notion that, like, it's a formality that Doherty will not be playing and Coleman will come Slovakia time, which I thought was...
That's depressing, isn't it?
Well, I thought he was jumping the gun.
It's a long way away.
It is, because
it's like if somebody was to suggest that, you know, a third of the way through the League of Ireland season that Shamrock Rovers were going to win it.
Richard, come on, like seriously, I mean, how long is Leslie Nielsen dead? I mean,
9 years exactly.
9 years. But anyway, I hope he does play instead of Seamus Coleman. But I think if you ask Irish fans, most of them would be going for Doherty now, would they?
Pick on form, for God's sake, and that's
Coleman's not playing at the moment.
You know, he's not playing at the moment. You're right there. Few texts in so far, 53106, keep them coming, on the subject of that lovely photo of Johnny Ward and Sam Crow down in Longwood. Johnny Bloody Ward, says Chris. The girlfriend says she definitely would. Two magnificent beasts in one photo. Nice to know they've got a comfortable relationship. Thank you for that one, Chris. Johnny, you look like you've slapped on some Ron Seal quick dry and wood stain in that photo. Nice golden finish to your face there, says Josh.
Well, Donald Trump put up that photo of him, you know, as Rocky yesterday, so just to think of the reference. I think that was a little bit worse than mine.
A little bit.
No. It's kind of...
Johnny, I thouut you looked great in the photograph.
I did, but
none of it is his work.
Facebook profile.
None of that is the work of genetics either. We were looking as well for your favourite...
to get a tan this year, to be fair. Like, it wasn't much of a year weather-wise.
I'm not going to make a joke there. The scene where Frank Drebin is rifling through a suspect's filing cabinet with a torch, finds something interesting, says bingo, then slowly raises up a bingo card. Is fantastic. Gets me every time. Thank you for that one. By all means, keep your favourite Naked Gun text coming, or indeed your favourite Jeff to 53106.
You remember, like, why was Leslie Nielsen there, Ed? Like, because I'm thinking of his like, one of his best lines was actually a boxing line.
Okay.
Like, was there...
No, he was paid an extortionate amount of money. It was actors, astronauts and sports stars. Obviously, I was there for the astronauts.
Is that what the actual event was titled?
No, it was called
like
Autographica. People are paid like thousands to come over, sign autographs, do photo shoots. Like a VIP kind of meet your heroes type event.
Autographica makes it sound slightly risque.
Yeah.
It was not risky at all. No.
Good. What was the guy, the older cop, George
Kennedy.
George Kennedy.
Yeah, he died a few years ago as well.
So George Kennedy, O.J. Simpson, and Leslie Nielsen they're talking about boxing, and it's like, what's the name? Like Dakota, South Dakota, blah blah blah. And George goes like, "You sure know your boxing, Frank?" And he goes, "All I know is never bet on a white guy." So it's like, and you can get away with that joke because it's Naked Gun.
We're not going to. We'll be talking to Dan McDonnell a little bit later on about this situation regarding the FAI and funding and the investigation with the guards. What's the latest this evening, Shane?
Yes, the Minister for Transport, Tourism and Sport, Shane Ross, has confirmed that the government will not be reinstating state funding to the FAI in the near future. It comes after the findings, as you said, Richie, of the COSI audit report into the association, which have been passed on to An Garda Síochána by Sport Ireland. Minister Ross said in a statement this evening that both he and Minister of State Brendan Griffin TD have been working closely with Sport Ireland through all of this. They're hoping to create alternative methods of supporting deserving sports clubs and teams around the country.
It's very sad, Richie, to be fair, like this. Do you know, all these clubs just they were kind of hanging on the promise, I suppose, of development, and the stats that were shown recently in terms of the money that's actually given to football clubs relative to other sports isn't great in the first place. And you have a slew of clubs who are kind of in limbo at the moment. Some of them obviously of League of Ireland bent. And it's quite depressing.
Yeah, because I saw your interaction with Dan Lambert, the commercial manager from Bohemians, asking, because the situation as regards season tickets obviously is going to reach critical mass over there. There's only so much space they have. The same general admission might be a bit tricky this next coming season. You asked, was there going to be space to essentially put in more seats or to up the attendance? And there's no way they can do it.
Well, there is a way, really. It's just the council are kind of wary of it. Essentially, is it the Connacht Street?
Connacht Street,
that
yeah.
needs to be bulldozed. I was over there earlier on the season. There was just doing a bit of TV work that night. But like the places, it's like it's so dilapidated at this stage. But it's a safety risk as far as I know. But
yeah, it's not. There's no way Connacht Street can be given a safety.
But to bulldoze it, I mean, shouldn't take all that long, you'd imagine. So it's going to be bulldozed one way or the other. So I think Bows have sort of put it to my understanding is Bows have kind of said to council, well, can that just be bulldozed and maybe we can do something temporary then after that? But the council seems to be kind of wary of doing that. But it's great that Bows there's so much hype about them. But like for Shamrock Rovers, you're kind of turning about half the people away in next season. I would have thought at 3,500 attendance, which isn't ideal.
No, far from it. Far from ideal situation for Richard Keogh as well, Shane.
Yeah, Richard Keogh has had an appeal against his sacking for gross misconduct rejected by Derby County, his old club. The Republic of Ireland international was, of course, a passenger in a drink driving incident involving former teammates Tom Lawrence and Mason Bennett at the end of September. 33-year-old Keogh had been club captain prior to that incident. It's understood Keogh's appeal was heard by the Championship club last Wednesday. He was informed of the decision last night, with that final decision delivered by Chairman Mel Morris.
Sad news as well, I guess. I think David Kahn summed it up in that today, even though there was criminal charges essentially brought against these people, nobody's going to pay the price for this Hillsborough disaster.
No closure really, but the jury at the Hillsborough trial has returned a verdict of not guilty on a charge of manslaughter against a former South Yorkshire Police Superintendent. The jury of 7 women and 3 men returned the verdict at Preston Crown Court earlier today. David Duckenfield, who is now 75 years of age, was in command at the 1989 FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. 96 people were killed in a crush at the Sheffield Stadium at that match.
Yeah, exactly. How can people be unlawfully killed and nobody be lawfully charged with it? We heard from Conor O'Shea, been kind of speculating about his future on and off, seeing what's going to happen with him post-Italy. There might be a chance he's going to England. We've heard from him directly this morning.
He's not given too much away, but the former Italy head coach has said he hasn't yet made a decision about his next step in the game. The former Ireland fullback stepped down as Azzurri boss after the Rugby World Cup in Japan. O'Shea has been linked with a role in the IRFU, but told Jaron Owen on OTB AM this morning he hasn't made any decisions yet.
I'll see over the next little while what the next step will be.
Because you have been linked with the RFU in some kind of role there.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, I think I felt straight after the World Cup it was the right time. And I probably talked last June to the Italian Federation, and we're talking about the next 4-year cycle. And I knew I couldn't commit to the next 4 years mentally. In Italy, loved every second of what I did, but said that I wasn't going to go for that next 4 years. And post World Cup just feels and felt like the right time for a new voice rather than a 3-month Six Nations where everyone's just looking at you going, well, you're gone and he's coming in and this is going on, and it's
a waste of everybody's time.
It felt it would be a waste of so much good work we've done.
Yeah, Conor O'Shea there speaking on OTB AM, our sports breakfast show, live every morning from 7:30 across Off the Ball's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and of course on the Go Loud app.
Yeah, he really committed himself to that job, to Conor O'Shea. To hear him speak Italian was quite something in the past while too. Favourite Naked Gun quote, Frank Drebin: describe the assailant, victim, Caucasian, big moustache, around 6'1". Frank, that's an awfully big moustache. Thank you. We've also been told that we have sourced the picture of the love cannon with Leslie Nielsen.
Wow.
Wow, Shane, look at that.
Leather jacket is possibly only topped by the chain around my neck.
And the fact that you look like you're a massive Paramore fan.
Yeah.
Is that true? Can you confirm or deny?
No, it wasn't a Paramore
Leslie
fan
looks
at
happy
all.
to see you anyway.
He was in good form.
Beautiful
that day,
set
to
of
be fair.
nashers.
It's only about five months before he passed away, but yeah, incredible to meet him, especially when you've watched him in so many. Like Airplane was a cult classic, of course. And
Congratulations on the haircut since, Shane.
Yeah.
I can only regard myself
no
as jealous.
beard there either. Yeah.
We also had a text in your favourite Jeff. By all means, keep these coming throughout the course of the show tonight as well. All content is good content, lads. Jeff Wilson, the player for the All Blacks. It's a decent Jeff. My personal favourite, Jeff from Biker Grove.
Biker Grove.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you remember Biker Grove?
Of course I remember Biker Grove, Jeff.
Yeah, that's a long
27
time
for
ago.
God's sake.
So am I. I don't
remember Biker Grove though?
I remember of it, but
I'd say you could do a Geordie accent.
no, not really. No, I wouldn't. No.
Encourage him, Shane.
But yeah, Jeff. Who was Jeff?
Jeff was he's essentially the overseer of the whole Biker Grove complex, who had like the mutton chops, kind of the moustache that joined down into a beard, but didn't have a little chinny bit.
My favourite is Jeff from 22 Jump Street. My name is Jeff. Channing Tatum's character says it in a very funny accent. It's one of the highlights of the film, to be fair. But
Would you pay for an autograph from Channing Tatum?
no. Good looking guy though.
Good to know. Shane will be back with more later on. Johnny will be too, picking his League of Ireland team of the decade. Braga 2, Wolves 3 is the latest from Portugal in the Europa League. Screwfix's biggest ever Black Friday event is on from now until Monday the 2nd of December. They've loads of deals, including a €25 saving on the Karcher WV2 Plus window vac with spray bottle, microfiber cloth and detergent sachet. Now €41.45. To celebrate, we're giving away a €300 Screwfix voucher every night this week. To be in with a chance of winning, just identify our mystery voice who expects his players to behave themselves during the Christmas party season.
We can control ourselves.
Candido defence is a bit leaky.
We can control ourselves.
If you think you know who that is, text WIN with your name and your answer to 53106 for 30 cents, and we'll announce the winner later on in the show. And it is all with thanks to Screwfix's biggest ever Black Friday event. You can order online at screwfix.ie. A chance turned away for Braga just there. Still Braga 2, Wolves 3. Packed show on the way. Kevin Cullen from Boston after 8 o'clock, talking about the history and tradition of playing American football, particularly in the NFL, on Thanksgiving Day. We're also going to hear from the Jackal Carl Frampton, 48 hours removed from his latest big fight. Johnny's going to be picking his League of Ireland team of the decade. And up next, it's John Giles.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Do you remember Istabrack winning the Hatton's Grace? There are 3 Grade 1 races on December 1st. Can you keep up with the pace? It's 10 years since Hurricane Fly won the Royal Bond. Of Willie Mullins hurdler, we were very fond.